Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Freedom. Vedanta says this freedom is available to us here and now, in this life. You don't have to wait for death or to go to heaven. It's not a post-mortem freedom. It's available here, it's available there also, wherever we go. So this freedom, manifesting it in this very life, this is the goal actually. That's what we are aiming at. Why we are here, this whole Vedanta, this whole project, what is this? Self-realization. When I say self-realization, very, very fine, but then what will you get out of it? You will get this peace and transcendence of suffering. You will get this freedom while living. In Sanskrit there's a word, Jivanmukti, free while living. Yes, freedom after death also. There is something called Mukti, the bodiless freedom. That will be there. But the thing to look forward to is right now in this life. Not only is it freedom in this life, what will it be like? That's our question. What will it be like to be free? Look forward to that. But that which is natural to the enlightened ones is also a practice for us. What do I mean by that? Is that why should we be particularly interested in what is it like to be an enlightened being, a Jivanmukta? I am not enlightened yet, let me try to become enlightened, then we will see. It can be a curiosity, a theoretical interest, what will it be like to be there? But it's not theoretical, it's a very practical. Why? Because those which are the characteristics of an enlightened being, which we will study now, what is it like? If we practice those, it's natural for the enlightened one, but if I practice those, if I try to live accordingly, it's a very powerful spiritual practice. Arjuna asks this question to Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter itself, after the teachings on Vedanta and Karma Yoga are given. Then Arjuna asks, so suppose I become enlightened, what will it be like? How will it be different? What does that one feel like? From outside, from a distance, we already have the data because we know from historical accounts there are saints, enlightened beings, free while living, bodhisattvas. Every tradition has an idea of perfection. Some traditions say that after death only it is attainable. Some say even before death it is attainable. But then at least one thing is common in every tradition. There are advanced, highly evolved spiritual masters, teachers, practitioners. So that idea is there in every tradition, every religion. And we have historical accounts of such people also. Some of us, we may be lucky to even meet one or two such persons. If you meet a person who is, spiritually enlightened, it's a great, great blessing in life. Even a moment's company with such a person. So we have account of what it looks like from the outside. What a saint is like, what a bodhisattva is like, what a sthita prajna or Jivanmukta, free while living, is like. But also it's interesting to ask, what is it like from the inside? If I become enlightened, what will it feel like, or how will I be different from my own perspective? So Arjuna asks this question actually to Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Suppose I become enlightened. And he uses a very nice, very profound word for this. Instead of saying free while living, he says sthita prajna, the one of stabilized wisdom. So I have realized I am Brahman. Now at this point, one might say that I get it, but I am not there yet. Or sometimes I am there, but then I lose it. It's not stable sometimes. One may complain. That also is a misconception. But one may complain that it is not stable. Why is it a misconception? Because we might sometimes feel, when you have an adequate grasp of Vedanta, at that point one has this complaint, that I get it, but I am unable to live it, unable to be there in life. Or sometimes I am there, but then I forget it. My mind loses grip on that. And I'm saying this is actually a misconception. Why is it a misconception? You are the Atman. When you say, I am pure consciousness, I sort of understand and I can sort of center myself in that, but that's very fleeting, it's gone next moment. I said, this is gone the next moment. Whose complaint is this? Is it pure consciousness's complaint or mind's complaint? It's the mind's complaint. Which one are you? Are you mind or pure consciousness? You are pure consciousness, you are the Atman. No, but my mind is not centered there. But are you the mind? No. It's a trick set up by the mind. We will center the mind there. The mind also will be centered, soaked in it, centered in it, unmovably. That also will happen. But first of all, even before that, it's a great thing to know that even when the mind is complaining, I am not centered in my real nature as pure consciousness. Sometimes I feel that, at other times I don't feel that. When all this is, we are saying this, these are complaints of the mind. Just to know that is enough. Is a great source of peace. You know that you are all right. Yes, we will again center the mind in it. Nobody is there. But Arjuna is asking Sthita Prajna, stable wisdom. The one who will not complain that sometimes the wisdom is there, sometimes it is not there. Sometimes I am able to live this teaching, but then sometimes I am not able to live this teaching. The one who has gone beyond these problems. That one is said to be an enlightened one. How did we come to this enlightenment? 3 steps, 3 components of the practice. Remember, listening, reasoning, meditating. Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. There is something to know here. This listening is the most important thing in Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. Ashtanga Yoga, the practice here. The practice here is, you have to sit. You have to regulate your breathing. You have to turn your mind inwards and then focus in meditation and attain samadhi. That is the practice. In Vedanta, what is the practice? What are you supposed to do? Listen. See, that is when it's the practice for me. Nice. I'm ready to listen. Seems quite much easier. Listen, because this is a direct teaching. It's telling us something about yourself. Listen carefully. Then reason. Then meditate. Now, listening is the primary practice. Shravana. Listening includes studying also, but it must be done systematically. Each of these 3 practices removes a particular problem. Listening removes ignorance. I didn't know, now I know, after hearing. But then after removing ignorance, 2 kinds of problems may remain before enlightenment. 2 obstructions to enlightenment. Because you know you're Brahman now. Even what is Brahman, that also you know. It's limitless existence, consciousness, bliss. Even an intuitive feel of that also has been achieved. Yesterday step by step we did it. Now 2 problems remain. One problem will be an intellectual problem. The mind will have many doubts. I have heard what you have said, but I have many questions. It's not clear to me. I am not convinced about it. So if you're not convinced about it, if it's not clear to you, then reasoning is necessary. Reflection is necessary. Questioning is necessary. Minute question, argumentation, reasoning, until I have clarity. Listening will supply the information, remove the ignorance, supply the information, remove the ignorance. Now, earlier I did not know, now I have to say I know, I've got the information. I know what the text says, I know what the teacher says, I know. In earlier days they used to make us memorize the text itself, so you really know. But now I have many doubts. Then reasoning starts. The reasoning, argumentation, questioning, that phase will be over. When do I know that phase is over? When I can say that not only do I know, I have got clarity now. There's a difference between knowing something and being convinced about it, getting clarity about it. There's a difference between reading a book and understanding it. First, I know the text. I've heard the text. I've heard the teachings. I've memorized the text maybe. But so many doubts. After second stage of listening, listening and then reasoning, second stage, reasoning. Then all the doubts are gone. Now I not only know what the teaching is, I am clear about it. I'm convinced about it. I have clarity. I get it. Then what remains? If you say, I know the teachings and I get it, well, I can still complain it's not a living reality. It's something that I have understood. It's not a living reality for me yet. It's not something that I can live and manifest from day to day. If that is my complaint, I still behave contrarily. I'm translating from the Sanskrit. Viparita bhavana, contrary tendencies. If I'm behaving contrarily, how do I live these teachings, what I have heard and understood? Then meditation is there, non-dual meditation. What will happen? That which I have heard, that which I have understood, heard, stage 1, understood, stage 2. Then that I will be able to live. It will become a living reality for me. Just like I feel I am this guy, XYZ, and I'm able to live like myself. Well, I'm just myself. There's no problem living like myself in my own imperfect way. Then I'll be able to live as I am pure consciousness. It will be manifested. When that is complete, when those contrary tendencies are reprogrammed, erased, then one is called Jivanmukti, free while living. I'm defining it. Not just by hearing it, not just by understanding it, by making it into a living reality. It is called assimilation. Vivekananda used to call it, the word he used was assimilation. He says, hear it again and again. Say it to yourself again and again, I am that. Until it tingles with every drop of your blood. This is the process of assimilation. This is the third, the non-dual meditation. Until it's a living reality for you. Until you see, yes, it's true. There will be no more problem in living it. Then you are fully enlightened. So enlightenment has these two sides. So what I just said now, let me put it in the technical language which is used in Vedanta. There's something called Pramanagata Samshaya. What is the teaching? Pramana means the source of teaching, the instrument of knowledge. What is the teaching? If I have that question, what is Vedanta saying? What are these guys talking about? Then I should listen. I should read. I should hear more YouTube videos. I should read the text. Do a systematic, comprehensive study of this. Then that problem will be removed. Now I'll be able to say, I know what the teaching is. I've been reading, I've been listening, I've got it clear now. This is what the teaching is. So first, hearing removes this complaint. I don't know the teaching. So afterwards, you'll say, I know the teaching. Second complaint, I know the teaching, but I don't understand it. It's impossible. How is it that I am not the body? How is it that what is this pure consciousness and how am I pure consciousness? All these sounds utterly impossible. A wide range of contradictions, complaints. I mean, complaints in the sense of I don't get it.
Inquiry. Complaint in the sense of inquiry.
Inquiry. Right. It is not coherent for me. I don't understand it yet. And I have these questions. That is called asambhavana, the impossibility obstruction. My mind says, I know what you're saying, it's impossible. Why is it impossible? Because of these reasons. Please convince me. So that is the phase of manana, reasoning. Reasoning removes those inconsistencies, those questions, those doubts, that lack of clarity. What will be the result? I have clarity now. Not only do I know the teaching, I understand it also. Now, third problem will be what is called contrary tendencies. Viparita bhavana in Sanskrit. Viparita bhavana. Contrary tendencies. I have heard that I am not the body. I also understand in what sense I am not the body. I am the witness of this body and mind. But in day-to-day life, I behave just the opposite. I behave just like as I used to behave earlier. I behave as this person. I react to life, nasty situations, difficult situations, fear, anxiety, terror, temptation. All those things I respond as if I'm the same old person. That means that knowledge which has come has not soaked into my being itself. I'm not living it. So how do I overcome that? Problem is called viparita bhavana, contrary tendencies. How do I overcome that? By non-dual meditation. What is this non-dual meditation? That what I have heard and what I have understood, I've got clarity about it. Stay with it, focus on it, marinate in it. What Vivekananda calls assimilation. Don't just say I've heard it, I will read the book, now return to the library, done. Not like that. You stay with it. It takes long and intense focus to marinate the mind into it so that it becomes natural to you. Then it is done. Then the realization that I am Brahman is stable and it is manifested in day-to-day life. You are able to live it. Vivekananda said, my mission in life can be put in a few words. It is to preach unto humanity their inner divinity and how to make it manifest in every movement of life. In our thinking, our feeling, our expression and our behavior. It manifests that divinity. It doesn't manifest physicality or a personality. It manifests that divinity, that one limitless consciousness. So that is what is called freedom. And what is that like? So the enlightenment has these two sides to it. I can put it in this way. One side is, you can call it a paradigm shift. A tremendous change in what we think about ourselves and the world. Earlier I thought, I am this body and this is a material world outside me. And there are other human beings just like me, other living beings also. This is society. This is my life. This was my idea. Now I realize I am one limitless being consciousness and appearing in all these ways, including this also. The birth of this body is not my birth. The aging of this body is not my aging. I am still the limitless consciousness. And the death of this body also is not my end. They are not separate from me. They are all one with me. We are one self, one being. Immortal, always fulfilled. So this radiant one, like a sun shining like this, you see, like that, I am. And it's very evident. Just like the sun there is evident by seeing directly, no matter what arguments, it's so obvious. It becomes completely obvious. This is called sahaja, the natural state of the enlightened one. Another word Arjuna uses, sthita prajna. So this is one side of enlightenment. One side is complete paradigm shift. The answer to the question, who am I, shifts dramatically. Who am I? I am this guy. Who else can I be? I am Sarvapriyananda. Who am I? No. I am witness consciousness. I am Brahman. I am Shiva, Chidananda Rupa Shiva. So that is not just a mantra, not just some slogan, a fact, simple fact. So that's one side. This is one side of enlightenment. But there is another side, which is the manifestation side. See, if someone attains nirvana, according in the Buddhist system, not only will that person attain nirvana and say, I have attained bodhi, wisdom, but you would also expect some Buddha-like qualities from this person. Some saintly qualities, some spiritual qualities. If you see, I have attained enlightenment, but you're still the same old guy. Same behavior, same anger, same lust, same greed, same pettiness, same fears and anxieties. Something wrong with that enlightenment. Perhaps I'm deluding myself. So, there is the ethical manifestation side. So, enlightenment has these two sides. On one side, paradigm shift from I am body-mind to I am pure consciousness. On the other side, ethical manifestation. The qualities of a Buddha, the qualities of a Christ, the qualities of saints and bodhisattvas should manifest in ample quantity in ample measure in our day-to-day lives. It should be evident that this person has ethically evolved to greatness. You see that. Simplicity, purity, joy, fearlessness, selflessness, compassion, feeling of benevolence, kindness, self-sacrifice. All those things should come naturally to that person. This is called ethical manifestation. So enlightenment has these two sides. Now Arjuna asked this question to Krishna. Suppose I have attained freedom while living. He uses the term stabilized wisdom. What is the nature of this person of stabilized wisdom? How does it feel? From inside, not from outside. Outside, of course, I can see you, Krishna. You are great. I can see you. But if I become enlightened, what will it be like? Stita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava stitadi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. Said, "Oh Krishna, when I become a sage of stabilized wisdom, what is it like to be completely absorbed in Brahman, in Samadhi? What is it like? What will that enlightened person, how will that enlightened person," he says, "sit and walk and talk?" Basically what he means is, how will that enlightened person react to the world? What will it be in the mind of that enlightened person? One little technical note here. After enlightenment, does a person continue living? Or will you not die? If the goal of life is enlightenment, so will enlightenment sort of lead to death or so? No, thank God. If enlightenment leads to death, nobody would be attracted to enlightenment. You call the ambulance, what happened? Some people got enlightened. They're dying now. No! That's number one. Nobody would be attracted if enlightenment means a sure death sentence. Second, if enlightenment leads to death, that means all the masters who have taught us are unenlightened. You want a lineage of jnanis, enlightened ones, or lineage of ignorant ones? Lineage of enlightened ones. So the great benefit for us is that some people may have been enlightened and they may teach us and may transfer this. So enlightenment does not mean death. The idea in Vedanta is our lives and many lifetimes, they are all propelled. The fuel for all this is past karma, accumulated karma. The results of that keeps on producing new bodies and giving us new experiences. But enlightenment, one of the effects of enlightenment is to burn up all your karma, so that one is not born again. The whole game of life and death, being born again and again, going from one life to another life to another life, it comes to an end. It stops. This becomes the last life, the last limited embodiment like this. So that is the definition of embodiment traditionally, definition of enlightenment traditionally in Vedanta, that your cycle of birth and death stops. That's why it's called moksha, freedom, mukti, freedom. In Vedanta, in fact all the Hindu philosophies, in Buddhism, in Jainism, in Sikhism, all the traditional Indian philosophies, they all agree that there is a cycle of birth and death. And it's not good news that you're going through the cycle of birth and death. It means we're still ignorant, still trapped. Better or worse, but we're going through this again and again. Merry-go-round. Sometimes the merry-go-round, that box is there, sometimes it's there. Sometimes you're up in heaven, sometimes down in hell. And sometimes in middle earth. And going round and round and round. But you can get off the wheel. So that freedom is, that's why it's called freedom, moksha, mukti. But then how do you get freedom? If karma is propelling it, what's the engine which is propelling us, driving us from lifetime to lifetime? It is karma. Cause and effect. I have generated many causes in past lives and they are giving results, effects in. How do I know what is my karma? Look at your life right now. You'll get a good idea what your karma is. At least part of it. That part which has become active. Those who studied warehousing, last in, first out, first in, first, last out, something like that. Yeah. LIFO, FIFO, those things. Inventory. Yeah.
Queuing theory.
Yeah.
What theory?
Queuing theory.
Queuing theory. Yeah. So our karma which has been done, not necessarily it will all come in that order. Some things sometimes they are activated. And part of that karma is activated and produces a birth, a body. So that activated karma in Sanskrit is called prarabdha karma, that which has started giving results. So this body is due to the prarabdha karma. But there is also sanchita karma, agami karma, which is accumulated karma, huge storehouse. Not only that, what we do in this life keeps on adding to new karma. So how will it stop? How will it stop? Such an enormous thing. How will it stop? We have no idea of what is there in our accounts. Accounts will be wiped out by enlightenment. Anyway, none of it is real, because all of that is an appearance in consciousness. Once you realize the underlying reality, all that disappears. The Mundaka Upanishad says, what happens upon enlightenment? Vidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karmani Tasmin drishte paravare. When you realize the transcendent and immanent, how beautiful it is put. That reality, which is beyond time, space and causation. The attributeless Brahman. I am that. But also in immanent. All of this is the same Brahman. When you realize that I am that Brahman, what will happen? Vidyate hridaya granthi. The knots of the heart are cut asunder. That sounds like a cardiac procedure, but it just needs ignorance, which ties us to this body-mind. It's like sort of like a knot. That's the whole idea also of Alexander's Gordian knot, cutting the knot. We are tied to this body-mind. How are we tied to this body-mind? The usual answer in Indian philosophy will be by karma. We are tied to this body-mind. But Vedanta has a deeper answer. It says we are tied to this body-mind by ignorance. Actually, we are not tied at all. It's our foolishness which makes us think I am this body-mind. How will it be cut? Knowledge. Ignorance, if the knot is composed of ignorance, it can be cut only by the sword of knowledge. So it will be cut by the sword of knowledge. Then what happens? All doubts are dispelled. Chidyante sarva samshaya. You're asking a question, is it a trick of the mind? In this enlightenment, there will be no doubt at all. There is no occasion, no possibility of doubt. In mystical experiences, there can be a doubt. At the moment of that experience, you will see, wow, this is wonderful. Next moment, was that real or was I high? Or did my mind trick me? But in this, there can be no doubt at all. It is utterly obvious. Even the doubt, if you generate a doubt, let me doubt this, that doubt will shine in the light of the same consciousness which you are. And that doubt itself will prove to you. Mathematical truths have no doubt. Even deeper is Descartes' cogito. I exist, there is no doubt about it. Even deeper is this realization. So, there will be no doubt. What was the point I was making? That no doubts. The knot of the heart is cut aside, then all doubts are dispelled. Chidyante sarva samshaya. There is no doubt, possibility of doubt anymore. It's as plain as this sunlight blazing. Then, kshiyante chasya karmani. All one's karma is destroyed. Karma means accumulated karma. A gentleman once came to Sri Ramakrishna and said, "Oh, I feel so sorry. I've committed a mountain of sins. I don't know how I'll ever be free of this." It's like a mountain. Sri Ramakrishna said, "Oh, but that's a mountain of cotton. Put one matchstick to it, it'll burn up in a flash." You're set free. When you say set free from karma, we use it. It sounds very philosophical. Oh, I'm set free from karma. What is karma? Cause and effect, causality. It sounds very philosophical. No, it's a great psychological burden. An enormous burden we are carrying from lifetime to lifetime. People say, I don't know what is in my karma. Good. You'll go mad if you know what's in my karma. I have done all that. So, no wonder I am in jail. Jail means samsara. And when I die, transfer to another jail. Just transfer from one jail to another jail. So, such an enormous burden of karma, it burns up in a trice. Enlightenment destroys it immediately. However, since karma is propelling this body, what the idea is, the prarabdha karma still will continue until the results are given out. The example is given how is an archer is shooting arrows. So the archer has shot an arrow, put an arrow, is about to shoot it, and there is a quiver where arrows are kept. Now suddenly the archer decides not to shoot anymore and throws away the bow and arrow, empties out the quiver. But he cannot do anything about the arrow which is in flight. It will hit its target. Similarly, the body-mind which has been born, where the results of karma are coming, it will continue. Another example given is the wheel, potter's wheel. The potter is making potter's wheel, making the pot. After he's finished, he'll get up, but the wheel will turn once or twice more and then stop. Like a fan. You switch on a fan, it's going round, then you switch it off. It will not stop immediately. Maybe once or twice it will rotate and then stop. Similarly, that it goes on the inertia of its past karma, the activated karma, it will continue for some more time. What will continue? This body and mind. As long as it continues, you are called free while living. That is the enlightened one's existence amongst us. It will drop at one point. Then the enlightened one will go beyond our direct interaction. So this is called Jivanmukti. This is the technical side of Jivanmukti. Why it is possible. Someone might say, after enlightenment, all your karmas are destroyed. That's the technical way of putting it. Then how can you exist anymore? So you exist because of this prarabdha karma. Swami Vivekananda says in his famous poem, Song of the Sannyasin, what happens after enlightenment? Heed no more than how body lives or dies. Its task is done. Let karma float it down. Very beautiful last two passages of that poem. Let karma float it down. You don't have to worry about it. So Arjuna asked this question. After you are enlightened, what is it like? How would you define an enlightened person's experience? In samadhi, absorbed in Brahman, I am that Brahman which I have discovered. Or when the mind is active, engaged with the appearance, the world of appearance. How does that person react to life? How is it different from me? Then Krishna answers in a wonderful section. Few verses, the last few verses of chapter 2. I think verse number 56 to 72. Those verses in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. Description of the enlightened being. And Shankaracharya says here, it's not only a theoretical question. But if we contemplate this and try to understand this and practice these qualities, these manifestations, characteristics which are natural to the enlightened one, we will practice it artificially, of course. But that is a very powerful spiritual practice for us. We can reach that state by deliberately practicing those. What did Krishna say? The first three verses in his answer are the most very important ones, which reveal to us the inner state. The inner state of the enlightened one, we understand, is pure consciousness, is Atman or Brahman. But the mind, as long as the prarabdha karma, the wheel is up, still rotating, body will be there and the mind will be there, just like us. What will happen to that person? The mind is very different. Atman, pure consciousness, we and the enlightened one are the same. Body, that's a body, this is also a body. But what happens in the mind which has the enlightenment has arisen in that mind? So Krishna says, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmannevatmana tushta sthita pragyasta dichyate. What happens then is, that person has realized I am this limitless existence, consciousness bliss and remains absorbed there. Atmannevatmana tushta. Fully satisfied there. We are unsatisfied. Our problem is we are unsatisfied. In Sanskrit, apurnam. We are unsatisfied. Because it's very natural. Because we feel I am this body. I am this person. As a body, as a personality, I find myself different from everybody else. I find myself subject to old age, disease, death. I find myself subject to loneliness, depression, dissatisfaction. What 2500 years ago Buddha said is common to all beings. Dukkha. The sheer unsatisfactoriness of life. Even when things go absolutely, you order it, perfect life, perfect day. You order it. And see if all of that comes, if it happens. Very rare. But suppose it happens. Even then you will feel a nagging sense of, alright, good, I'm okay, I'm fine. But is this all? A sense of lack of fulfillment. Existential angst. Angst. So, this person, so we are unfulfilled. We are always unfulfilled. We are always threatened. Death, that's the big one. But disease, dishonor, failure, depression, loneliness. And what we get in life, pleasure, success, none of it is enough. The good things are also we get in life, they are not enough. And the enlightened one is just the reverse. The enlightened one realizes purnam, fullness, completeness. You look at it in the histories of the sages and saints of all spiritual traditions. None of them was grumpy or complaints and grumbles. None of them was waiting for Amazon shopping cart, all this list, I want these things. They may, but they don't. Their happiness doesn't depend on it. They have a natural, spontaneous, inexhaustible happiness, fulfillment, peace. What is the source of that? The source is that their realization, I am that. That therefore. So completely fulfilled, we are apurnam, not complete. They are purnam, complete, whole. That beautiful mantra is there. Purnamada purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vashishyate. It's a Shanti mantra in the Upanishads. And it says, Purna means whole, complete, limitless. That is whole or complete or limitless. You might say, yeah, I know that. That by that if you mean God. That's my definition of God. Purnamidam. This is also complete. That we don't know. We think this is problem. This is perfect, complete, limitless. Purna Purna Mudachyate. From that limitless, this limitless has come. From that perfection, this perfection has come. This perfection includes I, this being also. And Purnasya Purnamadaya. In this being, when I realize the limitlessness, the Purnatvam, the completeness, then Purnameva Vashishyate. Completeness, limitlessness, infinity alone exists there. Purnam alone exists. So the enlightened one feels that. It's very obvious. And very naturally, the mind of such a one will sometimes get completely absorbed in that. To the extent that he may not be aware of the rest of the body of the manifested world. This is called samadhi. And it happens naturally for him. Sri Ramakrishna is a great demonstration. Daily, there are so many accounts of eyewitnesses who became completely absorbed. For him, that Purnam was not this dry philosophical terms we are using. For Sri Ramakrishna, it was his blissful divine mother, Kali. He would become absorbed in the presence of the divine mother. Not imagination, it was a reality for him. Compared to that, the rest of us were shadows for Sri Ramakrishna. So sometimes the mind of the enlightened one becomes absorbed. And prajahati yada kaman. All other desires, complaints, to-do list, everything else is given up completely. That one does not depend on the world for fulfillment. We go around in the world with a begging hat, fulfillment, give me happiness, give me happiness, give me peace, give me some joy, give me some recognition, make me, be nice to me. We go around. That one doesn't. Prajahati, given, completely given up. That one's happiness, joy is entirely internal, doesn't depend on anything external, on anything or anybody. That's the first one. The second one, Krishna says next. When the enlightened one is aware of the world, some people are nice, some are not nice. And the little wave, some waves are friendly to it, some waves are nasty to it, some waves are bigger, some waves are smaller. Then how do you realize, how do you react? The enlightened one, Dukkeshu anudvignamana sukheshu vigata spriyaha vita raga bhaya krodha stitadi muniruchyate. The sage of stabilized wisdom. In circumstances which would be sorrowful, painful, unhappy, the mind is undisturbed. In circumstances which would be very nice, desirable, pleasurable, great, there is no hankering or thirst or attachment. Beyond all raga, desire for the world, beyond all fear, beyond all hunger, vita raga bhayakravata, is the sage of stabilized wisdom. Sthitati. One sadhu explaining this monk, he said, look at the words, sthitati, stabilized wisdom. Where is your wisdom? Where is your mind? The intellect, where is it? Is it at home or is it wandering around outside? Usually for us it's all wandering around outside. Planning, calculating, scared, adjusting. This is sthitati, stabilized in one's real nature, in the Atman, in Brahman. Further, one more. Yas sarvatra anabhisneha tat tat prapya shubhashubham nabhinandati nadveshti tita pragyastadujyate. That when things happen in the world which are desirable and undesirable, expected, unexpected, what you would like them to be and what you don't like, what you don't want, then they keep happening. They'll keep happening. Why will they keep happening? Past karma. Then how do you react? This one has no particular attachment or clinging to expectations about the world. Nabhinandati, does not rejoice and say, wow, this is great, wonderful, let it happen, let it come, let it be, let it not go away from me. Does not say that. Nadveshti, when things are not good, not nice, unpleasant, does not say this is horrible, remove this, I don't like this person, I don't like this circumstance. No, it's patient. Because for that person, what appears to be pleasant and unpleasant, behind both is one consciousness, is one existence, which I am. Whatever appears, pleasant dream or nightmare, both you are. There's nothing else there except you yourself. What is there to be upset from that person's perspective? Three things have been said here. Let me sum up. One Swami put it so beautifully. From an Advaitic perspective, the enlightened one's inner state. He said three words. If you read these three words, they'll help you to manifest it. Ekatvam, oneness. Samatvam, evenness. Asangatvam, unattached, detached. Detachment. So for this world, when we experience this, one is ekatvam, completely absorbed in that one radiant reality. With eyes closed, eyes open. With eyes closed, inward focused, let go of the world, the body, the prana, the mind, with the intellect, the blankness, and remain settled. Yesterday as we saw, I am that. Their minds are refined, they can remain settled in such a way, they get absorbed in samadhi. We can also do to some extent, in our little way. And when the mind is externalized, when you're experiencing people, experiencing the body, my own thoughts, the external world, then what happens? Evenness, samatva. In pleasant and unpleasant occurrences, the mind does not react with pull or push, with hankering, stickiness when nice things are there, nice people are there, nice occasion. I want this, more of this, let it be there. No. Even. And when dukkha, anudvigna, unperturbed, completely vast and peaceful. So Ramakrishna said, in another circumstance, another context, there is a vast lake outside his native village. He says, if an elephant, in a pond, even if a duck lands in a little pond, there are little village ponds, you'll see a big splashing and all that. And there is the Chukshire, there's a huge lake. If an elephant goes in there to take a bath also, you see it's hardly disturbed. It's so vast. So your mind becomes like that. Dukkeshvanudvignavana. There is no perturbation in the mind, in spite of difficult circumstances. Vitaraga, you're free of clinging and attachment. You're free of fear and anger. When things are nice, people are nice, you like somebody, you like this food, you like these circumstances, you like this place, like this job, clinging. Stickiness comes in the mind. The enlightened one is free of that. And when you don't like it, you don't like the person, the activity, the job, or whatever it is, we have a repulsion to it. Two things happen. If it is coming, that you are expecting, and then anxiety will be there. Fear, anxiety. Maybe it will hurt. Maybe I will be dishonored or humiliated, or there'll be loss in business or job. Something will happen bad. Anxiety, fear, bhaya. When it's coming. When it's here already, anger, irritation, krodha. But this enlightened one is free of both. Why? In what seems to be pleasant and in what seems to be unpleasant, underneath both he sees the same reality. The same existence consciousness, please. The same gold, it can be shaped into a form of a deity, and Ganesha, or it can be shaped into the form of a demon. It's the same gold. And then how does that person, this is the internal state, the mind, evenness. And then how does the person react to others? Speak, behave. It says, detached. And does not exult in na vinandati na dveshti. Does not exult in joy when things go the way you would expect normally, things are going the way you want them to. Does not curse and lament. Na vinandati na dveshti. Yes, sarvatra anavisnaya, not attached anywhere. The movie screen is not attached to anything in the movie. No character in the movie, not even the best hero, not even the most beautiful scenery in the movie, screen is not attached to anyone. But it is because of the screen all those things appear. Screen makes it possible. You are the screen, the one limitless consciousness, not attached to anything that appears or disappears in you. Therefore, in life, you can go through life being completely detached. So this is the inner state. You may not understand it. When you come across an enlightened person, you feel how loving they are, how affectionate. Don't be fooled. They're completely detached from you. What they are loving about, what they are affectionate about, what you feel, why you feel so close to them, they are aware of your innermost reality. They see the divinity in you. And that's what they like. That's what they love or revere, or that's what they identify with. Narendranath, who became Vivekananda later on, said, why are you so attached to me? He scolded Sri Ramakrishna, his guru. Sri Ramakrishna said, I see Narayan, I see God in you. If I did not see God in you, I wouldn't be able to look at your face also. He said, you rascal, I love you because I see Narayan in you, God in you, divinity in you. If I did not see that, I won't be able to look at your face also. So complete detachment. Not in the cold, calculated way, I'm detached from you. No, you will actually feel a great oneness, affection and love, but that's only pointed to the real nature within us, which they see within themselves, they see within us also. One good way of understanding this and learning is to watch the lives of these enlightened ones, is to read the lives of the saints. Then first of all, it's inspiring and also gives an inner insight. I've given an example of how Swami Turiyanandaji, a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna is lying there dying of cancer. Terminal throat cancer. Then Swami Turiyananda, Hari, he was a young man, he comes and asks, Sir, how are you today? In Bengali, how are you today? And Sri Ramakrishna weakly says, I can't eat. And it hurts here, it hurts, I can't eat. In fact, the cancer patient will say that. Now this Hari, this boy, he saw something in this apparently sick man, his guru lying there dying, and he said, but sir, I see that you are in great bliss. In Bengali, you're in great bliss. That seems like a cruel thing to say to a cancer patient who's dying. But Sri Ramakrishna agreed. He laughed and he said, oh, the rascal has found me out. Bengali, the rascal has found me out. Now it's worth thinking about. When he says it is hurting, is he acting? Is he pretending? Is it not hurting? It is hurting. And when he says, he agrees, I am in great bliss. Is he acting or pretending? No, he is in great bliss. How are both possible at the same time? It is possible from the perspective of, I am the Atman, I am pure consciousness. This body, this cancer, this pain is an appearance in pure consciousness. Even the pain. It's not like an anesthesia that I'm enlightened, now I don't feel anything. I'm sorry, I can't feel it. I'm enlightened. No, I can feel everything, like everybody else. But yet you are able to transcend. Later on, this Hari, he asked, a couple of days later, he asked a more probing question. He asked, Sir, tell me precisely, do you feel all this? Do you feel it or not? And Sri Ramakrishna's answer was very instructive. He said, what kind of talk is that? Does the body ever become a sadhu? That means a holy person. It's the mind which becomes a sadhu. In Bengali he said, Oki katha, shorir ki sadhu hai, moni sadhu hai. Now that's a very perceptive statement. It's something that applies to every spiritual path, not only Advaita Vedanta, which we are talking about. Devotion, yoga, every path, every religion. What do these paths do to the mind? They utterly transform the mind. They show the mind your reality is this transcendent reality which is not affected by what happens in the world, what appears in it. So, it is the mind which becomes spiritualized. Body will not become spiritualized. Body will die. Body becomes, there is a good effect of spirituality on the body, but the body does not become immortal or, it will die. It will get old, it will get sick, it will die. The Atman, pure consciousness, that's always perfect. It's always perfect in everybody. It does not need spiritual practice to make it perfect. It does not need enlightenment to make it perfect. So who gains from this enlightenment? It is the mind. Many decades later, Swami Turiyanandaji, the same young man, when he was old and dying in Benares, in our ashram in Benares in India, he had a number of operations performed. So he was sick. And there are many eyewitnesses. The surgeon has come to perform an operation on his hand. The surgeon says, Swami, we have to cut deep. Let me apply anesthesia. The Swami said, no, just let me know when you're cutting and you can cut. Don't apply anesthesia. And he did that. And there are a number of people, and these were more than one occasion. There are others who have written reminiscences. We saw him sitting there. Not that he was in meditation and he cannot feel the body. That also is one way of it's possible. But here he is just talking to us, smiling with us, sitting quietly, while this deep operation is being performed on his hand. Now the most interesting thing happened the next day, when the surgeon came to dress the wound. So he opened the bandages and he was cleaning. The Swami shouted in pain, oh, what are you doing? Now the surgeon was very surprised. He said, Swami, I know it hurts, but yesterday it must have hurt much more. You were calm and smiling, now you are shouting. What happened? And the Swami said, you should tell me when you are going to touch it, then I will remove my mind from there. If only it was so easy. Grief, loss. From an enlightened perspective, person's perspective, there is no loss. There is no loss, there is no grief. What will you lose? Whom will you lose? They are all one with you, all the time. You are that one reality of everything. It only like the wave hitting the shore here, smashes into pieces. It's still water. It's just water. You know that. You know it is this one pure consciousness, Atman or Brahman, and you are it. Your most beloved person, most dear person is forever one with you. Forever. In a very real sense, not in a theoretical sense. From an enlightened person's perspective, it's very real. Where is death? For the enlightened person's perspective, own death, the death of the body, is nothing for that person, nor is the death of anybody else. They know that others have also not died. What are the others? They are I only, in all those forms. What is the loss of one body? Vivekananda says it's like one nail, or when you cut your nail or you cut off one strand of hair, less than that. What a tremendous different perspective on death. The reality that you are, the reality that others are, continues, regardless of the death. Where is death? The most terrible thing, our own death scares us, and the most terrible sorrow is the death of near and dear ones. Most terrible death is death of children. See, parents and grandparents die because we know they are old, they will die, and we accept it. It's very sorrowful, but we accept it. We miss them. But children, loss of children, I've seen. People have come to me. See, it is the most terrible thing for a parent to lose a child. It's the most unnatural thing. I was thinking, there are words for a woman who's lost her husband, widow. A husband who's lost his wife, widower. Children who have lost their parents, orphan. But what is the word for someone who's lost his child or her child? No word. Because it's too terrible. That sorrow also, how can you overcome? Spirituality helps us there. Advaita helps in this way. Every spiritual path takes you beyond sorrow. Transcend that, rise above that. Protects you from it. Now again, careful. In practice, how it works. Let me give an example of Sri Ramakrishna's life. His beloved nephew Akshay, he died young. And Sri Ramakrishna was present at the deathbed. He loved that boy dearly, and the boy was ill, sick. He was dying. In front of him, the boy died. Now Sri Ramakrishna was in an ecstatic state. He was standing there joyously. People thought, how cruel. He is standing there joyously. The boy, his most beloved nephew, is dying. And then later, he wept. Now, someone asked him, well, what happened? He said, when I saw the boy dying, I could clearly see he's not dead. It's like a sword being withdrawn from a scabbard. He's still there. As the body drops off, he's there. Whom to lament for? I can clearly see he's there. But afterwards, I thought, I will never see him again as that boy. See, that personality is gone. That body is gone. That one we loved in that way is gone forever. That is true. So it's not denial of death. It is not escapism. Are you making death superficial? Are you making fun of death? It's such a terrible sorrow for people. No, Vedanta never does that. Vedanta respects it completely. And that death which we mourn is true. Because that person in that way will never be available to us again. Gone. Even though that person exists, will go on to other lives, but there will be other persons then. That Jivatma continues, sentient being. But that personality whom we loved, whom we respected, who's dear to us, is truly gone. And that's the very nature of life itself, transient. But in reality, who they were, they are always existing. So he said, later on, when I thought, that boy I will never see again. The one I loved in the way I loved that boy, I will never see again. He says, I felt this great sorrow. He says, like, a cloth, when you wipe your body, a towel, you wring out the water from the towel. In India, there's something called gamcha, a thin towel, which we used to wipe our body after a bath. And then you wring out the water from that. It says, my heart, as it was being wrung by this sorrow, that I missed this child. So, enlightened, fully enlightened, sees the truth and the other side also. So he is like a bridge. He shows both sides, the human side of it and the divine side of it. If only the divine side, it will be difficult for us to understand. We are suffering so much, and someone standing and smiling, what kind of mind is that? If the divine side is not their only human side, well, all right, we will sympathize, but it is of no use to us. What solution is there then? Here is the solution. Someone who feels as much as we do, even more than us, and yet can transcend it in a moment. His own pain, cancer, dying, the death of a beloved person, transcend. This is a Jivanmukti, free while living. If we can imbibe a part of this also in our day-to-day life, manifest it. How do you manifest it? With the help of this non-dual knowledge, that I am that. From there, if you live, fullness, purnatvam will be there. Freedom from fear, freedom from want, freedom from selfishness, grasping, freedom from anger. Whom will you be angry with? Freedom from violence, compassion, a giving, a kind of endless giving, because they are all yours. We will not be limited to selfishness. Only I, me, mine. Yes, I love, but only my children, or my brother or sister, or husband or wife or parents. No, the same love will extend to everybody. Regardless. You don't have to know who that person is. Because you know, I and that person are same. Not similar. Literally same. I am in this body, this one. In that body, I am that one. This is freedom while living. Jivanmukti. Okay, we can take a few questions. We have time. Little break. 3 o'clock now.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a little break, and then we'll take a short Q&A. Yes. 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yes,
10 minutes, yeah.
10 minutes should be fine. So let's come back.
She's very strict with time. 3:15?
I was wondering about when you spoke about experience, and there are moments of that we experience and the unconditional consciousness. But how do I differentiate? Experience of an object is limited. How do I know that it's not a mind trick? It's what I'm experiencing is the
You will always, the idea is to match it with the text, that is the teaching, with reason and experience. Three things: Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. So, my experience, does it match with what I am learning in the texts? Is it logical? Does it fit logically with what I have understood? And then match it with the experience. And notice the special nature of this Advaitic approach is, it's not dependent on any particular experience. The beauty is, once we have grasped it, once that there is this realization, I am that, it's available to me all the time. I don't have to wait for occasional experience. Mystical experiences are occasional. Our daily experiences, what we can call quotidian experiences, daily experiences, they're always available to us, but they keep changing. Waking, dreaming, sleeping. Right now we are having this ordinary experience. But what we are talking about here is underlies all these experiences, ordinary experience and extraordinary experience. It underlies waking, dreaming, deep sleep. So for the enlightened person, we are calling it a person. Enlightened one would always consider, I am pure consciousness. For that one, it will be available in and through every experience. So the highest, when the realization, upon full realization, Kena Upanishad says, Pratibodha viditam matam. In every experience, Brahman is available. It's like seeing you, I know you, but seeing her, I see her. There's two different things I'm seeing, two different persons. But both are experience provided by my eyes. Seeing you is also an experience of my eyes. Seeing her is also an experience of my eyes. Seeing anything at all is an experience of my eyes. Seeing each person is a limited, separate experience, but all of them are experience of the eyes. In the sense, they are all mediated, made possible. It is the eyes alone which are seeing. Similarly, every experience is Brahman experience for the enlightened one. So it's always available. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. Text, does it match? Does it match reason? And Anubhuti is your experience, yes. Alright, I promise to be what is called, it is called rapid fire session. Quick answers, not long answers. But try to give some quick answers.
We are okay if we don't do rapid fire.
No, because we have
all the time in the world.
No, we have to. That reminds me of a joke. There was this Vice Chancellor's conference it was in Bangkok, I think, in Thailand. Anyway, the person who told me is a Vice Chancellor. So he said that we were there, and one of the, Vice Chancellors are the top of the university. So they have the habit of talking, others listen. So one of the Vice Chancellors asked the organizers of the conference, how long may I speak? That, sir, you may speak as long as you want, but we will leave at 5 o'clock. But I have time limit because there's another talk today at the Hindu temples. So I have to wrap up quickly. So questions, if you have something to ask. Yes.
I have one. It's about something in Sri Ramakrishna's Gospel.
Yes.
If you could perhaps explain it a little bit. It was, he described a situation where he had a visualization of something. He was in a forest and there was a door behind him, and he used like a little some instrument to open the lock, and he said it kept filling in, and then suddenly it all gave way. And
and difficult for us to explain.
yes, yeah.
So these mystical experiences, they definitely have profound meaning. Some of these, luckily, Sri Ramakrishna himself explained it to us, what it means. Some of these things he has told somebody else and has transmitted down to us. So difficult for us to explain. Yes.
Which Western philosophers would you say are closest to Vedanta?
Philosophically, metaphysically, Kant, of course. Kant, Immanuel Kant.
Yeah.
In some ways, who else?
What about Plato?
I suppose so. Yeah, the ancients, of course. Plato, yes, definitely. Plato, Socrates, Plato.
The cave allegory.
The cave allegory, closer.
It's completely Vedanta in my view.
Schopenhauer. But in Schopenhauer's closeness to Vedanta comes from Vedanta. Because he was the first of the great Western philosophers to read the Upanishads. There's a very nice journey of the Upanishads to the West. My predecessor in Vedanta Society in New York, Swami Ranganathananda, wrote this book, Journey of the Upanishads to the West. So what happened was, around 400 years ago, more than that, a Mughal prince, Dara Shikoh, at that time the Mughals were ruling India. He was very interested in religion, spirituality. Of course, he was a Muslim, he was a Sufi, but he was very interested in the religion of the Hindus. And he commissioned, he was the emperor, he was the prince, actually crown prince at that time. He commissioned some scholars to translate the Sanskrit commentaries, Upanishads with some Sanskrit commentaries, into Persian, so that he could read it. And he was not alone. There were a few other courtiers around that time who were interested in this kind of thing. And it didn't do him much good, because his younger brother Aurangzeb murdered him and became the emperor. So that kind of freedom and openness in religion, Islam and Hinduism ended with him. But the books survived. And centuries later, this young Frenchman, he was in his 20s, Anquetil Duperron, he had gone to Europe, to India, from France to India, to search not for the Upanishads. He didn't even know about the Upanishads, the existence of the Upanishads. He had heard, at that time there was a great interest among scholars of religion here in Europe on the sources of Christianity. They knew that the Catholic religion came originally from Jerusalem and its sources lie in Judaism. But then what about the sources of Judaism? Where does that come from? And they had heard about an even more ancient religion, Zoroastrianism. And they had heard that there were no Zoroastrians in Europe at that time. They had heard that they have a book which is older than, of course, the Bible or the Torah. It's older than that. So maybe the scholars were very curious. What would that book say? The Zen Avesta. Where would you get a... Nowadays you ask Google, it will give it to you with all sorts of translations. In those days, not even a single copy was available. So he set out to find that. And he heard that in India there were many Zoroastrians who fled from Muslim persecution in Iran. What is now? Zoroastrians were native to Iran. Even now there are some Zoroastrians in Iran, but it's more or less gone from... It's minimal. But most of them fled to India. And they are what we know in India, everybody knows them as the Parsis, coming from Persia. They are a very respected community there. So they fled there and they got refuge there and they prospered there. So this young man, he had heard that such book is available there in India. At that time there was a big war going on between the British and the French. And India, of course, was beginning to be colonized by the British. So he went and he got the Zen Avesta. He was successful. But he also got another book he did not know about, which was the Upanishads. And he got this book, he was fascinated by it. He didn't even know about the existence of this. And he translated the Upanishads, which he had got in Persian, which was a translation of the Sanskrit original made by the Mughal prince hundreds of years ago. He translated it into Latin. And he published it, called it Upnikhat. O-U-P-N-E-K-H-A-T. Upnikhat. And that book fell into the hands of Schopenhauer. And Schopenhauer read it, and he was so impressed by it. Schopenhauer says, I consider no study in the world to be as beneficial as the study of this Upanishad, except perhaps the originals. He knew it's a translation of a translation. And afterwards, he would, in his great book, The World as Will and Representation. I've read only a first part of it in English translation. Then in the first chapter he says, what I'm going to say in these volumes, originally it was 4 volumes, what I'm going to say in these volumes was best known to the ancient Hindus. They called it Maya. His conception of the will, they called it Maya. So Schopenhauer was dramatically influenced by Vedanta. And he says, these Upanishads are the solace of my life, they will be the solace of my death. Even Anketil Duperron, he became very poor afterwards and he struggled. And he says, in the midst of poverty and failure and unhappiness, what I discovered, this book, his reminiscences are there, and it gives me hope. It gives me peace just to read this book. So that was the journey of the Upanishads to the West, and Schopenhauer was greatly influenced. So his philosophy has great echoes of Vedanta, of Advaita Vedanta. Among the moderns, I like Wittgenstein. I don't understand much of it, but I'm very fascinated by Wittgenstein. He was an incredible person, Ludwig Wittgenstein. Yes.
Yes, I'm curious about this, the practice you described and also the training of the mind.
Yes.
And you described this, the meditation and also the self-inquiry. How would you say there is room for other practices?
Yes.
Like breathwork,
yes,
yoga, things like that?
Those are all there. Vedanta would consider all those helpful.
Yeah.
Even the physical yoga. Good health. Poor health is an obstruction. There's an ancient Sanskrit saying, Sharira Madhya Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. The primary instrument of dharma is the body. So it's a healthy body. Yoga assures that it's the best form of exercise. Then devotional exercises. Worship, faith in God, worship of God. It has a great role to play in non-duality, because in the initial stages, non-duality, Advaita is mostly seen as an intellectual matter, and our real problems are not intellectual. I don't know, I am pure consciousness, that is the source of my problem. It isn't. It isn't. My problem is addiction, anger, unhappiness, guilt, grudges, negativity, physical poor health, lack of fulfillment in the world. These are my problems. And pure consciousness nowhere on the scene for me. So, when Vedanta talks about removing the original primal ignorance by bringing in the light of knowledge, it's more like a solution to the problem which I was not seeking for. I don't have a problem. I don't seem to have that kind of a problem. So these real problems, the devotional practices are a great help there. Dependence and faith in God, worship of God. Our mind, our emotions are purified when we make them flow towards God. Otherwise, what happens is, with an unpurified mind, with a turbid mind, when I come to Vedanta, I will grasp something intellectually at best, and the rest of me will struggle with life. Devotion, if bhakti is there, great devotion, surrender to God, God will take care of my life. Then let me be centered in my real nature. Great, it will work. Then meditation. Just sitting quietly, even following the breath or trying to repeat a mantra, first thing we will see how terrible my condition is, mind's condition is. How restless, how troubled. So we have to tackle that. That's a great gain, to know where I am now. Then I cannot complain, why isn't Vedanta working for me, why isn't the instrument which you are using is a damaged instrument. No wonder it's not working for you. So slowly, by regular, consistent meditation, to calm and focus the mind. All of these have great role to play. Breath work. Even somebody was asking me, what about therapy? Psychological therapy. Yes, if one has these serious issues which is preventing you from being spiritual, devotionally or in a non-dual path, then work out those issues. Counseling, therapy can be helpful. Physical, if I go to a doctor for physical problem, why can I not go to a doctor for mental problem? I can go. That does not mean I'm not spiritual. One thinks that if I have mental issues, I can't be spiritual. Of course not. Why? Vedanta itself, in fact, gives you the key to therapy. Vedanta says that just as this physical body is a body, it's not you. The mind is also a body. It's called subtle body. It's not you. And if it has a problem, deal with that problem. It is no reflection upon you. You are one with God. You are pure consciousness. So, physical therapy, mental therapy, all of those are welcome. Whatever helps. But remember, our primary thing should be enlightenment, God realization. That's our main project. All the rest, what will happen is, if I'm not centrally spiritual, if I don't see myself as a God seeker, enlightenment seeker, as a spiritual seeker, if I don't see myself as that, and I spend my time too much at the physical, vital or mental levels, at best it will be a fine-tuning to this life. It will be a little better, a little more normal, a little more well-adjusted. So what? Still get old and die. Only spirituality pulls you out of samsara, out of this cycle of birth, and this trapped, I am this body, mind, I am doomed to death, I am pulled out of it. None of these are other secular therapies. The very definition of secular is this worldly. Anything this worldly cannot give you any hope. But it can help.
And how about analytic psychology for Carl Jung, for example?
Yes. Carl Jung especially was a very spiritual man. And he was, among the Western thinkers, he was powerfully influenced by Vedanta. He had his own take on it. He was also a little careful about it. He was doubtful about what it can do for the Western mind or it cannot do. So I don't know much about Carl Jung. He visited our main monastery in India, Belur Math. He visited Carl Jung. He went to India, he visited Belur Math. I've seen an interview with him, old black and white tape, and he's being interviewed. Do you believe in God? He says, when I was young, I did. And he said, but you don't believe now? He said, no, I don't need to believe. Now I know. See? As when I was young, I believed in God. Now I know that God exists. Yes.
The word Sharanagati, surrender to Ishvara. Now, unless there is this sense of connectivity, interconnectivity with the total,
Yes.
can surrender ever be possible?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you?
No.
Surrender means I believe that there is this great power, which is the God of religion. Maybe I worship as Shiva or the Divine Mother. And everything is done here by her will. She is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. I completely surrender to her. I know she wants my welfare. I know she wants to finally give me illumination and set me free. So my best interests are in good hands, in the hands of God. And I will do my best.
Yes. Now, with that, is it now to look at the world as her?
Yes.
To look at everything, nature with human and other beings as her. For that, the upasana that one does
Yes.
should be able to lead to that, or is it the knowledge of that power is required for it? Is it that Maya Shakti which is this whole universe? Now, when we say Maya and we want to step out of Maya, which we cannot in any case because it is her,
Yes.
or in that, then it is just being oneself, isn't it, that really connects with the other. Like it's a self-image and the world image should correlate, isn't it? Like otherwise is surrender reaching its fulfillment?
Let me latch on to what you said just before this. That it is, we're trying to go beyond Maya, but we cannot because it is all her anyway. It's the Divine Mother. It is true. So Ramakrishna used to say Maya or Ilaka, this is the domain of Maya. In this itself we are worldly, in this itself we are spiritual, in this itself we feel we are bound, in this itself we are trying to become free, in this Maya itself we are doing Vedanta, all of this. And it's perfectly alright. This is where Vedanta is applicable, in this Maya. And it is her grace that a spiritual path is there. There are multiple spiritual paths. And we cannot go beyond Maya by ourselves. She sets us free. She sets us free. Yes. Yes, we are deep inside a sense of oneness and interdependence and interconnectedness, which is her. Is in and through her we are connected to the whole world. That feeling should come, yes.
Yes.
One is, this is hers, all of this. This is a dualistic view. The other one is, she is present in everything. That is like a Shakta-dvaita or Vishishta-dvaita view. Third one is, she is all this. That is closer to the Advaitic view.
So in Upasana we get into more or less the three steps that...
Yes. Upasana is these meditative exercises. And these meditative exercises are both devotional and yogic together. Oh, well, somebody wanted... How are we doing? Last question? Good.
I want to
Yes.
add something. Okay.
Yes, please, I'll come to you.
Is there any diksha system in Advaita Vedanta? Or?
Okay, you wanted to add something?
No, I wanted to give some information out here. 112 years ago, one Swami from Bengal came to Norway in 1914.
Oh, I see. What was his name?
His name was Swami Govinda Acharya. And his Bengali name was Surendranath Barat. And
Did he establish an ashram? Or?
he has his samadhi in Mount Tron, in the middle of Norway.
Oh,
He was here till 1945.
I see. During the Second World War.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Did he have an ashram? Any books?
yeah, he has the ashram there now. And he helped establish Indology department in University of Oslo.
Oh, I see. He was a Vedantic.
Yeah, he has given lectures on Vedanta. The book is called Brahma Darshan.
Brahma Darshanam, I see. It's available in English.
Yeah, it is available in English because it was translated in English and published from UK.
It was originally written in Norwegian?
No, he gave lecture in English and then it was published from UK.
I see. Published from UK. Brahma Darshanam.
Brahma Darshan. So
That's an interesting background. So there was Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta here in the early 20th century.
He came much earlier.
yeah, I can send you the book if you want. No, I wanted to say that after 112 years we have this opportunity to hear.
That's always a good coming.
So it's not
We've not been so fortunate like that. That's what I said.
Add to this.
He arrived in Norway.
Spiritual center still, where he had his little ashram in eastern Norway.
At the center.
On the top of a mountain.
It is still a
This,
center.
it's very well established and known, especially among the locals. But all Norwegians, I think most Norwegians have heard about it.
I see.
And they want to establish a peace center.
Yes. Yes.
So it still has energy and is vibrant and alive.
Wonderful. I didn't know about it.
He arrived in Norway much earlier. He arrived the moment the First World War broke out.
Yeah.
And he
1914.
died the moment that the
Second
Second
World
World
War
War ended.
1945.
Yeah. And his name was Sri Ananda Acharya.
Anandacharya.
Yeah. And so he lived on that Tronfjell, the mountain in the eastern part of Norway, and he tried to establish a spiritual center there. And his vision was to create a peace university. And there's still people who is kind of working still on his vision. And there is a thick kind of biography made about him now, which came out about 5 years ago.
In Norwegian? Or
Yes,
in English?
in Norwegian. No, I can't remember. I read it, but I can't remember whether it was in Norwegian or in English.
Yeah, there is a translation of it in English as well.
Okay. Thick book.
Can I ask?
She wanted to say something.
No, I only want the word my first experience with this guy. I was driving from Oslo to Trondheim, and suddenly in the car I start shouting in my car. When I drive past this mountain, and I ask some people, why had this happened to me? And they said, it's because of him. So strong.
No, I just wanted to add that there was a biography that you, Christian, owned, and I got it, so I have it back home about this guy.
Oh, is it you who have it?
Now you go very good.
Finally got it.
I think it's in English, actually. So it's,
Can follow up. Anand Acharya.
We'll send you that.
So mantra diksha, yes. In traditional Advaita Vedanta, it is not specially needed because they used to be, if it was a traditional Advaitic monk, they would have already been initiated into Gayatri mantra, so they would have been repeating that. Otherwise, Ishta mantra is given. So the monks would have their own Ishta mantra and Ishta Devata, deity, a mantra, visualization practice, a repetition practice. So that's the Upasana stage, the worship meditation stage. So that's there. In our order also it's there. So the Guru, the President Maharaj, others, Vice Presidents, they are authorized to initiate. The Swami who is in, for example, nearest to you would be in Berlin. They are authorized to initiate into a mantra. Yes, it's there.
Actually, I am interested for my family, so I was in search for many years.
Please look, are you settled here in Stavanger?
Yeah,
then you should look for, the closest Swami you have to you here in our tradition is Swami Bhubhaneshwar in Berlin. Please look it up. That is the closest.
But you're here, could you initiate?
I don't initiate.
Oh, really?
I'm not authorized to and I don't. So, I just read a few books and talk about it. That's my job. Let me do a peace chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. I pray to Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharada Devi, Swami Vivekananda, and all the great ones in all lineages and religions of the world. May their blessings, their grace and power be upon us. May we attain to spirituality and self-realization, God-realization in this very life itself. Peace.